Alright everybody, thanks for joining me in another video here for SyllaFX. So in this video we are doing a recap of the entry zones for April the 24th, 2023. So let's go ahead and jump right into it here and take a look at the 4 entry zones I sent out to the members this morning. So first, starting with the euro-dollar pair. So on this trade here, this entry zone, we were seeing that price broke the highs, the previous highs on the prior days here. So we set up the entry zone at those highs to look for price to come back in and retest this level here. As long as we get price to come back in and give us the rejection wicks, basically the confirmation that price wants to make its continue its move up, then we were looking for a buy position, risking 15 pips and aiming for 30 pips take profit on this one here. So let's take a look at the live chart and see what happened and what played out today. Alright, so the yellow background again, like I mentioned, is the London session, and the blue background is the New York session. So as you can see, though price was above the entry zone, it never actually came all the way back down to retest that zone exactly. So since price didn't actually come back in to reject and give us confirmation, we had no trade to actually take on this one here. So no trade on the euro dollar for today. So moving on to the next entry zone that I sent out for the dollar yen. Alright, so now this one, we can see that price is basically trending up here. We got a lot of buying power coming in, a little bit of retracement, buying power again, and another retracement. So during the London session, we actually had price come above here and break these highs, this high and this high. So our entry zone was set up as at this consolidation point here. We were hoping to have price come back down to the zone, give us the test that we're looking for, basically get the confirmation, those rejection wicks to indicate price is reacting and wanting to continue its move up. And we were risking 20 pips on this one here for the stop loss and aiming for 50 pips on the take profits. So let's take a look at the live chart and see what happened for today's session. Alright, so looking at the dollar yen, we were right up here at the time, right? So we wanted price to come back down to the zone, and we actually did get that movement. So price did move into that entry zone, and now this one was a little bit iffy on whether or not you were going to take this trade. Now I do still count this as a valid trade because we did kind of get the rejection, a little bit of a wick here and another wick here right into the entry zone. So this would have been a buy position to take on this one. Now, if you recall, we were actually risking 20 pips on this movement here. The stop loss was way down here at these lows, right? Now, unfortunately, this ended up still being a losing trade, but as you can tell, we did not lose the 20 pips on this one. What ended up happening is, and this is something that you will be aware of if you take the SyllaFX course, with any of my trades that I take out, that I take myself, where I send out for the entry zones, by 2 p.m. Eastern time during the New York session, I'm closing out of the trades. I don't care if it's in profit or in drawdown, I'm exiting the trades out and taking the loss as it is, this is what happened on this dollar yen pair here. So we took a loss of 4.7 pips on this one. Price was not really making its move back up here as it rejected or tested this entry zone. It pretty much just kind of lingered around and consolidated into that zone and left this in drawdown. So minus 4.7 pips on this one here. Now each of my trades are typically 5 standard lots on the each of the trades that I take. So 4.7 pip loss on this one is roughly $175. So our first loser for the day, the dollar yen. So let's move on to the next entry point, the entry zone that I sent out, which was for the Aussie dollar. Now on this trade, we've seen that we are down trading for the most part, and we broke the lows here that were previously created. So our entry zone was pretty much this entire area here. We wanted to see price go well into that zone, give us the confirmation, the rejection wicks that we always look for before we jump into a trade. On this one, we were looking to sell the position and take 40 pips on the take profit and only risk about 15 to 17 pips on this one. So let's take a look, see what happened on the live chart now. All right. So during the session, and if you recall, the stop loss that we actually set up was right above here, the 4-hour major resistance level, right? So this was well up here into the zone here. Now what ended up actually happening, let me zoom out a little bit here. So price went into our entry zone here as we were wanting to, and we actually got the rejection that we were looking for. So if you look here, we got a nice little wick into the entry zone and a closeout of the candle showing that it wanted to sell off from that entry zone. So this is a valid entry to take a sell position on this trade here. Now, unfortunately, as you can tell, this ended up being a losing trade as well. Now, if you recall, each of my trades, 2 p.m. Eastern time, I don't care if I'm in drawdown or in profit, I'm exiting the trade. So we didn't actually take the full hit of 15 to 17 pips on this one. The trade was actually closed out at about 5.8 pips on a loss for the Aussie dollar pair today. So still our second loser for the day, but we minimized our loss drastically. Instead of 17 pips, we only lost 5.8 pips on this one. So trading size lots are 5 standard lots on this one, so minus 5.8 pips is roughly about $290. So we got our second loss for the day, guys. So we're down a total of $465 for the day. You can't win them all, but let's take a look at the last entry zone that I sent out for the pound dollar. All right, last entry zone here. So on the pound dollar, we were above the 4-hour major support level here, so our entry zone was actually set up right at that level. As you can see, price did come down and tap into it and give us the confirmation wicks nicely here, but this was prior to the London session. We don't trade prior to that. So we were hoping to see price come back into that zone again and tap into it, give us the rejection, and take a buy position. We're looking to only risk 25 pips on this one and aiming for 60 pips. So jumping over to the live chart, let's see what happened. All right, so on this trade here, we were right around this area by the time we actually took the entry zone, right? So we were wanting price to come all the way back down and tap into that entry zone, give us the confirmation wicks like it did previously here. But as you can see here, we didn't actually get price to react that way. We didn't get the setup to actually be validated, so no trade on the pound dollar today here. So just to recap for everybody, guys, the euro dollar pair price didn't come into that zone, so we didn't actually have a setup occur, so no trade. The second entry zone, which was the dollar yen, we did have price come into our entry zone and we did take a trade on this one. This one was valid, ended up being a loser for 4.7 pips, unfortunately. The third trade, the third entry zone, ended up being a loser trade as well. So went into the entry zone, gave us the rejection wicks, but unfortunately still ended up losing 5.8 pips on this one, so minus $290 on that. And the last entry zone, price never came back in to actually confirm our setup, so no trade on that one as well. So just to wrap up for the recap on the 4 entry zones today, as you can tell, guys, we have our losing day for April the 24th. So you can't win them all, everybody, but you try to minimize your risk, try to minimize the amount that you lose on all your trades, and win as much as you can, at least take what the market gives you. But 2 losing trades today and 2 other setups were no trades since it didn't actually follow our trading rules, so we didn't take those. So minus $465, guys, a losing trade for today again, like I mentioned. If you guys are interested in joining the entry zones membership, you can go to SyllaFX.com. You can join the VIP entry zones from there. That is $49 a month. It does include the full SyllaFX course that will teach you everything you need to know about trading in the Forex market, including the strategies that we utilize to set up the entry zones that are sent out every day here. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, guys, if you like the content, and hit that notification bell for more videos. All right, thanks for watching.